Thanks for staying with us. As you all know, every Wednesday on the show, we bring to you our relationship segment. And since the beginning of this month, we have been discussing the series, Understanding the Dynamics of Teenage Behavior. And guess what, guys? Your teenager is dating. But today we are going to be focusing on handling your sexual emotions effectively. We have with us Olajumoke Olamiju. She's a peculiar lady, knowledge-seeking, impact-driven, and full of empathy. She's a professional mental health counselor from the Institute of Counseling Nigeria who loves to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Most of all, she works with adolescents and teenagers. And of course, she's very versatile when it comes to mental health discussions and relationships in general. You are welcome to the show.
Thank you.
This month has been quite an interesting month because we have been, focusing on truly understanding your teenagers' behavior. And today we're going to focus in on how to handle those sexual emotions. I need to drop my teacup for this one because I don't have a teenager yet, but my girls are growing.
Yeah,
I look at them every day, and my 6-year-old she's here already. She's growing so fast. How do we as parents help our teenagers manage their sexual emotions effectively?
The first point I will say is that parents should come to the reality that their children are human beings and they have sexual hormones, they have sexual urges. So come to the reality, then you begin to know how to manage it. Now, you must make sure you have a communication with your child to the extent that he can open up or she can open up to you. And even though the child doesn't open up to you, be in the know that the moment puberty
comes in,
the hormones changes. And even from 10, a 10-year-old girl, boy can have sexual urges.
Someone watching right now might be sort of conflicted on how to begin to have this conversation, especially if there's already been that communication gap. If there's already that, gap in their relationship, it's going to be a problem. So how do they begin to approach those conversations? Because it's like randomly saying, I know they've started touching you at school, Abby, all those sort of conversations. And if I'm a teenager, I'll be like, what's wrong with this woman? What's wrong with you? Like, I don't understand. Where are you coming off having those sort of, of saying those sort of things? So how do they begin to, where do they begin? How do they say it?
Like, that's why we normally advise that you start it from the onset. Don't let there be bridge because you're going to find it difficult. A child you've never sat down for once to tell about sexuality, and all of a sudden you're saying that, they started touching. You can't communicate that way. So, peradventure, if you're a parent that you did not have a bonding with your child from the onset, I always recommend you seek help of a professional. Just like you take them to the hospital when they are not feeling fine. When you get to that stage and you know that you've not been there or you're not well educated enough to guide that child, that is why we have counselors, we have therapists that can guide those children. So if you can, but if you're an intentional parent that has the knowledge already, you sit down, how far? My darling, you come through the playful manner and sure that you're not pretending. Because most parents, they've been hard. When now get to that stage,
that they begin to become soft.
They want to be soft. The child might not open up. Yes, I know there's a place of discipline, sternness, but even as you're a parent to a child, make sure you have built friendship to some extent. So, darling, at your age, be sincere. At your age, I was already feeling this way. How do you feel? From that feeling aspect, oh, mommy, you felt that way also. From there, the child will come up, you talk, okay, these are the things you should do. First of all, what you're feeling is not abnormal. Let them know that urges are okay, but what you do about it really matters. Now, who are your friends? What do you feed yourself with? Now, when you're having sexual urges, these are the things you should do. There's something called replacement strategy. Rather than sit and maybe dwell in it, you can get a book, you can distract yourself, play a game, you can take a walk out. There are strategies you can introduce to that child. And majorly, I normally emphasize on the association. ensure that the boy or the girl is in a good association where people don't want to try out, like, you have not tried it out. Let's just explore. So ensure you counsel the child right and all, and let him or her know that that feeling is not abnormal, but you can be guided and it can be managed. Yeah.
While you were talking, there's been that there's been a debate about how men should approach conversations like that with their daughters, because in the case where the mother figure isn't there, how do they approach it? How do they begin that conversation? You know, coming from a man's perspective, he can only see it from a male's perspective. He can't see it from a female's perspective. So a single father watching right now may be having such a dilemma. How do you advise him
Actually,
in this regard?
the moment you know that you're a single father or a single parent, you automatically begin to wear the two shoes. There have to be a father in that mother and a mother in that father. Because the reality has dawned on you. You're not going to, there's no how you want to manufacture it. You don't have a wife that can play that. So you have to wear that shoes. And majorly, if you look at it even from observation, that girl children, they tend to even bond more with their fathers.
Yeah.
Their fathers, princesses, and all. So it's not really a big deal discussing it with your daughter. It is not. If you can't, you can learn it. If you don't know how to go about it, you can learn it. You can seek professional help, seek counsel. How do I go about it? But I'm telling you that this world that we are right now, we have more of intentional parents, and they can do it.
You keep hinging on professional help, professional help. And it's very easy for many of us to turn to our religious leaders to seek counsel in this regard, which in some cases, they may not know how to approach these conversations in the best way without making it a religious conversation, or throwing in the religious angle into it, or making it a spiritual affair. Where can they find this professional help that you know, talk about?
When I talk about professional help, just like we have medical help, we also have mental health counselors, we have emotional counselors, we have sex therapists, even here in Nigeria and all. So you can, just like you can get a doctor, you can also seek a professional sexual therapist that can help the child. We have them everywhere, qualified ones.
I know that we're focused too much on parents, because I mean, it's when it comes to managing a child's emotion, you can only come from an older person's perspective, because we're there as older people to hold the little one's hands and guide them, to lead them. But in situations where it is just they don't have parents, or they don't have guardians, how do they help themselves to manage their sexual emotions? Because I feel like there has to be some level of responsibility, even from the teenagers.
Yes, and that it commences from the knowledge, as in identifying that, okay, what is wrong with you right now? Not wrong, I don't want to use the word wrong. What is happening? What is happening in your body right now? The moment you can identify it, and I'm just thinking that, okay, you don't have parents. Is that person in an orphanage home? And even in this orphanage home, I visit there also. They have things like this that they set up for them to teach and educate them on how they can manage it. Nothing is wrong with you. Your sexual urges are okay. The only thing is that at this point, don't feed it so much. You know, some children, they feel like they are having that their origin, and the next thing is they pick those books that will fuel it the more. Do you understand? Or they will switch and watch those movies.
Or social media.
That will make them to really exploit and all. So those are the ways that we guide them that, okay, it's fine, you're having this, it's cool, it's normal. But these are the things that can help you.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's been a quite interesting month.
Yes.
I'm leaning in on, you know, our teenagers, because I feel like there's so much conversations that needs to be had when it comes to them. I mean, they're growing into adults, and it's a very critical point in their lives where they need to make major life decisions that could either make or mar them. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, so we'll do this again next week.
Yes.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Fantastic.